Okay, we all ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alright, good day guys. Welcome to the third episode of the Cycleways podcast. I'm Thomas. I guess I'll call myself the host. Joining me today is the three other mechanics of Cycleways. We've got Logan.
Hey everyone, how we doing?
We've got Jason.
Yo, how's it going?
We've got the one and only Neil.
How's it going?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
No worries, guys. So I thought we'd just start off with a bit of an introduction. We did that last time with the floor boys. We'll keep it short. But yeah, why don't we just go around the circle and tell a little bit about ourselves. Do you want to start us off, Logan?
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, well, I guess my background starts like anyone with riding bikes, is just little grom kid riding a BMX through ditches and crap like that. Took me on to mountain bike racing, got into cross country racing pretty competitively, and then got me to a point where I was, leaving school and figuring out what I want to do. So job
Dropped out of
opportunity. Yeah, you could say that, on the down one. I actually do regret not going to year 13, but hey.
I didn't go to year 13, but my new school in Australia finishes grade 12.
It's a common theme among bike mechanics, I think.
Yeah. I just spent the whole of that year going back to school and picking up my mates and just hanging out with them anyway, so I did all the same shit that I would have done at school. But yeah, just took the opportunity to get into a bike shop and started off as the bitch boy, putting stock on the shelves and entering invoices, and merged into building bikes, and then the opportunity came to come to Cycleways fairly early on in my bike shop career as a mechanic. So took that on board and learned off of Matt and Phil, who's no longer with us but was a long-time employee of Cycleways. And yeah,
Like my dad.
Yeah.
Everyone says he's like my dad.
And yeah, it's brought us to where we are now. Number of years on, and just still loving the bike industry and fixing bikes.
And I'll just, obviously I know, but just for everyone that's listening, so when we're doing servicing, what are you specifically servicing in the shop?
Bit of everything really. Doing everything from your first services on your new bikes to suspension servicing and anything in between. Just whatever I get my hands on. I generally deal with most of the warranty stuff and insurance jobs and things like that as well.
And
Enough.
to indulge it as well, what's your favourite bike to work on?
Well, are we talking brand or type or something?
Let's start. Like, are you a mountain bike boy? Do you like a good cyclocross bike in there? Do you want something weird?
Yeah, I'd have to say mountain bike. There's just a lot more going on, so there's more to play with. You got the suspension you need to work on, pivots which people often neglect. So if you get a mountain bike in the stand and then you're needing to do every single bit on it, you can just kind of, as long as you don't get interrupted, click off and just truck through the whole thing and get it mint from top to bottom. Yeah.
Sweet. What about you, Jason?
Oh, I've been in the game for a little while. I think I started back in maybe 04 or something like that.
Being around the block, mate.
Yeah, been around the block. Started in New Zealand, worked through a few shops in New Zealand, Cromwell and Chicago. Went over the ditch, went over to Aussie, spent a bit of time over there, spent 7 years in Aussie. Got pretty deep in the roadie scene, in the weight weenie, full lycra scene.
Full kit wanker.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, worked in a pretty big shop over there and just did like bulk volume. Worked with Specialized and
I know the shop you're
just
talking about.
yeah, and yeah, just did a lot of numbers. Had a pretty big workshop team over there and worked under some pretty under and with some pretty good mechanics as well. Yeah, met a lot of people and ended up moving back to New Zealand and found my way to Cycleways in Christchurch. And it's pretty good. I must say some of the boys in Cycleways is some of the most relaxed like people I've ever met in the cycling industry. Like people get pretty highly strung and yeah, pretty like I don't know, like Logan especially is like one of the most relaxed roosters I've ever met. I don't know how he does it, but he just stays calm.
I have my outbursts.
Yeah, you have your outbursts, but they're like, man, they're pretty chill for outbursts. Like, I've seen people like throw hammers and things across the workshop, and yeah, it gets pretty out of control sometimes. But
I'll take that as a compliment then.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I like working with Cycleways. It's just a good vibe, good team. Mostly it's more of a mountain bike type shop, but we do a bit of road as well. Tom, like you've just come on board recently, but you're from the same kind of. You've come from Brisbane as well, like Aussie, so you know a bit about that roadie scene like me. Bit different to here.
I definitely found that when I came in, like going into the shop, I'd never had to deal with like servicing suspension. So did you come to Cycleways knowing that, or were you like essentially just like a wee Bambi, just didn't know anything?
No, like in Aussie, I was like the mountain bike boy anyway. But like my Aussie version of mountain bike boy is like different to Cycleways, Christchurch mountain bike. You know, like just goes so much deeper here. Like the terrain here is so gnarly and rough. Like people really pushing their bikes to the limit. You know, like a lot more warranty claims and a lot more broken stuff and like accelerated wear on everything just because of the adventure park and just how hard everybody goes, I guess.
I definitely noticed that when I moved here. People have an innate ability here to just destroy their bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christchurch is rougher and harder on shit than people think.
Definitely. And I'll say as well, I know you're into some pretty weird stuff. What's your favorite bike to work on?
Oh yes, I love a good bit of weird shit. I like a bit of vintage gear and do love a good shit box to work on. But I don't know. I kind of like going against the grain sometimes, and you know, looking back to the past for inspiration for the future. I don't know.
It's quite meta.
Yeah. Meta.
Yeah. No worries. Neil, mate, what about you?
I started in the bike trade in 2004. Just started at Fleet being just the apprentice mechanic, and then stayed there for quite a few years. Then went to John Bull, and then to Evo, and now Cycleways.
Sweet.
Neil loves his squishy bits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey.
And I guess as well, like obviously me knowing you personally, like I know that you work on a lot more than bikes at home. I mean, how does that affect you? Because I know that you're pretty keen on your cars and your motorbikes.
Well, that's the reason I got into push bike, or being a bike mechanic. I wanted to be an automotive mechanic, and they said my literacy wasn't up to scratch. So my reading and writing wasn't that good, so I became a push bike mechanic.
Yeah, right.
And you fit
That's
it
how
in
I
just
got into
great.
the trade.
Sure.
But yeah, I like more of my passion is like automotive. Like I like cars and stuff, but I think that's why I don't get sick of push bikes because I don't. If I rode push bikes all the time, I'd get sick of them. Because
Yeah.
I've got heaps of stuff to do, like motocross bike, off road, and push bikes. So
No, I definitely understand that. And because you always tell us that you don't like pedaling.
well, that is true. Yeah.
allergic to pedaling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, your favorite kind of bike to work on?
It's got to be a dual suspension, like enduro or downhill or something like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Fox fork, Fox shark,
Yeah. Shimano.
And Shimano.
Shimano.
Fox and Shimano. Yeah.
Goodyear tires.
Yeah. And 26.
Whoa!
Big call there.
With send it strips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send it straight.
This is a paid advertisement for Sanders strips.
No worries. Okay, guys. So obviously we're stuck at home. We aren't really allowed to go into the shop. But we have been seeing a lot of new products come out recently. It seems that a lot of companies are starting to release their kind of stuff. What are you guys seeing out there? I know I've seen the new Envy wheels, which I'm pretty excited about. Mainly from a road perspective, I could see some pretty sweet builds with those rims. But what else is out there, guys?
Yeah, I've seen the new box. They got forks, shocks, new transfer dropper posts coming through. They've all got, well, we've got a new Fox 38, so that kind of enduro, kind of in between the 36 and the 40, which we kind of knew about coming from a little while ago, but it's all released now. It's got a new damp, some new squishy bits in it. It's looking pretty nice, I must say.
Yeah, and I've changed the lowers and stuff for the 38 and 36.
Looks like they've used a Thompson seat post for a steer tube as well.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Elliptical steer tube, which that's been out there in the marketplace for a while, but it's good to see they've like incorporated that technology and built a bit more stiffness into the fork.
Yeah.
You're a big fan of the old Thompson seat post, aren't you, Jason?
I love a Thompson seat post. They just work.
Do you want to quickly tell a story about your Thompson seat post?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
dissolve it. Yeah. I bought a bike recently, and it was a steel frame, and before I bought it, it already had in the description that it had a seized seat post, and I thought, seized, it can't be that bad. Yeah, when I got it, it was probably the most seized seat post that I've had come across, in my professional career, and man, I used all the tricks on the thing and could not get it out. Like seriously, I was at the point of like snapping the frame off in the vice, trying to like get this thing out. Lubed it, heated it, everything you could think of. I tried, and I twisted it that much in the vice that I actually ended up like cracking like splitting, up the tube, a Thompson seat post, so like some serious force going through it, and ended up like cutting it off at the top of the seat tube and filling it up with like dissolving agent, dissolving the aluminium in the frame.
The same stuff they use to melt like dead bodies in Breaking Bad and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's like super strength, like drain cleaner, pretty much, and did it outside on the grass, and there's a permanent brown patch out there now. So sorry about that, Matt. But it's out.
It's covered by the billboard sign at the moment, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's out, and there's a new seat post there, and it's all good, intact.
New Thompson one?
I should, yeah. I see out there, RockShox got some new forks and new shocks out as well, or new shock out as well. You guys seen that? New
Yeah,
Sid
looks
fork?
like they got and the new Sid is the new Sid Deluxe shock out?
Yeah.
Or was that last year?
What do they call it? Sid Deluxe or Sid Deluxe.
Yeah,
or something.
Sid Deluxe.
Yeah. I haven't read anything on it, but I've seen it's there.
With like 3 different lockout features.
Yeah. Sid Forks coming out in a 35mm stanchion version and a 32mm version as well. Like lightweight damper. It's like half, like less than half the weight, a lot less oil volume. But they took the rebound adjuster off the fork and the shock to save weight. So you need to carry a 2.5mm Allen key. So you have to put an Allen key in there and to adjust the rebound on it, which is a bit random.
Oh, I could see myself doing it on the trail.
Yeah, you have to make sure you get a long 2.5 on your multi-tool, or else you got to be like riding around with like a 2.5mm Allen key that'll jab into in your back pocket.
How many grams did they save by removing an alloy knob?
I don't know,
Enough,
but you
mate,
have to carry
enough.
the same.
Yeah, but
You
you're
have to
still
carry
going to
the same
carry the
amount of-
Allen key anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta carry your Allen key in your back pocket, so whatever. And it may pierce your spleen when you fall off.
You can just put some handlebar end caps on it. You'll be fine.
Oh, that's true.
I think it's pretty interesting that people are actually still releasing stuff, because I can't imagine what brands would be going through right now with like major races being cancelled. Like I can only really see it in the fact of a road perspective, but like the Tour de France has been essentially cancelled. I don't know how they're going to host it, but I mean you've got so many major brand manufacturers that align their release dates with that. So and then
Yeah.
Same thing with Paris-Roubaix and stuff like that. I mean obviously we weren't due a new Roubaix or anything like that, so that was alright. But we are potentially due a new tarmac. So I think it's kind of crazy, like what they're doing right now. I guess.
From what I've seen from with the Fox stuff, like Bike Radar and stuff like that, putting out YouTube videos on it, I reckon it's just for the suspension side of it. From what I've seen, is those companies that review everything anyway have all received the product to test and put out their reviews, and so Fox, for example, it's like, well, we've given you that to put something out there with, so put something out there with it. We're still going to release it. Everyone's sitting at home on their phones doing nothing, so they may as well watch the YouTube video on what you think, and you explain the fork and stuff. So
Yeah,
That's
the
from-
events may be
Yeah, and
cancelled,
they've-
but they've potentially got a bigger audience now that everyone's locked up at
Yeah.
home. Like,
exactly.
And
Standing in
racing's a small part of what Fox or RockShox actually sell.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's more so the development side of it, really. Get the pros to test it out, years in advance or whatever, and
Yeah.
like we saw the 38 Fox 38 sort of prototype stuff towards the end of last year and all of that.
Do you guys have any plans for racing or anything like that when you get back? Obviously, Neil, you're probably not pedaling and all, but yeah, I mean, Logan, are you gonna try and go for it? We had that the marathon race cancelled, which I was really looking forward to racing.
That has been rescheduled for November.
Yeah, right. My Hawaiian
FYI.
shirt will be ready.
Hamner 4 and 8 hour for anyone listening.
Jason, would you want to do that fixed?
hey,
Would you want to do it fixed?
fixed. Oh, I don't know. I've never actually. I've got this. I don't know. I've got this thing about fixies now that, like the cleanliness and this I don't know stupidness of it. But I haven't actually ridden a fixie before. But I should probably ride one before I go and sign up for a race on a fixie.
When I left Brisbane, I left my track bike in one of my friend's shops in Brisbane, and I was going to go get it in April when I was going to go to Brisbane. Obviously, I can't now. I'm stuck here. But my parents are moving to Auckland, so they've chucked it in their shipping crate. So essentially, as soon as there's regional travel, I'm going to drive up to Auckland and collect my track bike, on which I will ride around Christchurch without brakes and do some questionable stuff.
Mad gigs.
But
There's a bit of a scene building up in the Christchurch cyclocross scene with Tracklacross, so yeah, should get into that.
Jason sent me a like what is it, the problem solvers 6-bolt like rotor mount cog.
Yeah.
Fixie cog for a six. So you just flip your wheel around and you can bolt a fixie cog onto a 6-bolt mount hub, and you can turn like any disc 6-bolt wheel into a fixie. And then there's like an online gear chart calculator for even for like vertical dropout bikes, and it will tell you like you got to measure your chain stay length, but it'll tell you exactly what chainring size and exactly what cog size will work perfectly, like perfect chain length with that, specified chain stay length. So that's pretty cool. You can turn any bike into a fixie if you want.
So the smart thing to do for me would to get my bomb track, just flip my wheel around, not even take my cassette off, just take the derailleur off and then tuck my cable in.
Throw all that
and
stuff in the bin. Yeah, throw all that. Bin that.
And then just run that.
Bin
Just
the
run
derailleur.
it. Just run it with just as a fixed gear, but with my brakes all attached. I reckon what I'm going to do though is take
the brakes
everything
You
off,
off.
have a bit of trouble running
Take
the rear
everything off.
brake, won't you?
Take my front brake off. Put some flat bars on it, and then just run it as like a murder machine.
You won't have a rear brake, remember, bro, because you're using your brake mount for a cog mount, remember?
No, I can run a front. You can run a front brake.
Yeah, no rear brake though. Legs are for that.
Yeah. But no, why? Yeah, you put that image in my head, and now I can't stop thinking about it. Just racing a bit of tracklacross,
Keeping you up at night.
which might be the dumbest sport of all time.
Sounds pretty dumb.
I tried the whole fixed gear thing once. Built up I had an old steel frame thing. Can't even remember what it was. I pulled it out of the dump, and it had Sinelli lugs in it. And so I stripped it all down and like got it painted and everything. And put stickers on it so it looked like a proper Sinelli, and then just had it built up as old, retro road stuff. And then I was like, oh no, I'll bloody buy a fixed rear wheel for it. Put that in it. Pretty much first ride, commuting to work, first set of lights, stopped fine. It's all good. Stopping was fine. Still had toe straps, toe clips on it, on the old school pedals. So I went to head off at the lights, got some speed up, and then tried to put my foot into the toe clip, and just completely missed. Was just bouncing up and down on the saddle in the middle of this busy intersection at like 9 o'clock in the morning or something. And it's just like, oh, fuck this.
I used to rock up to in Brisbane, like there's a group there called Because Fixie, and it's just a bunch of hooligans really, and they're all like they're all hipsters and they ride steel frames. And I would rock up with my my really expensive cycling shoes like clipped in and like drop bars and like a stupid aggressive setup and like whoops and
No mustache, no ponytail.
Yep. Not required. Did drink a lot of craft beer though, so.
See, Specialized is donating some bikes to essential workers. I think that's over in the US. That's pretty nice of them.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
Helping out with the crisis.
Yeah, I would definitely commute on a Cirrus. Those are sweet bikes. I was saying to Matt that I would volunteer to if I didn't really have a lot to do at work, I would volunteer to be like a courier, like a driver around my station wagon, or just ride my. It'd be great to have my fixed gear now, because then I could be a proper bike messenger. Fulfill a childhood dream. Sweet. So I know I'm definitely going to be doing a bit of an overhaul service to my bike when I get back. Do you guys have any plans of servicing your bikes, or they're all running pretty smoothly?
Well,
I got a. Oh, what have you broken, Logan?
Well, yeah, I've given my Enduro a bit of love since the lockdown. Not that it's been ridden, but it's had a little bit of love. And as you guys know, I had a crash a wee while ago where I folded my front wheel.
That was a
And
warranty
so,
claim, wasn't it?
yeah, well, I tried, put the question to them, said, oh, this isn't handling up to the, as you put it before, Tom, the Christchurch, and Jason, the Christchurch terrain.
I was just riding along and my wheel folded in half. How did that happen? I didn't even do anything.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I thought the damage was. Front wheel, it's folded in half. Everything else looks sweet. Still riding all right, but gave the fork a bit of a service, and pulled the lowers off. And was kind of like, oh, that damper shaft's sticking out on a bit of an angle. We'll take that out and have a closer look. And yeah, sure enough, it had bent the damper shaft where it sits into the seal head. So.
Is it bent the lowers as well?
Oh, they seemed alright, and they still slide smooth. I don't know how I got away with that, but and then because I can't get parts or anything, obviously, I heated the sucker up and bent it back.
Oh my god, you did not.
Dude, that's a heat treated part. You can't do that.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. The lowers will stay on. We'll call it that. If it loses damper fluid,
still due a warranty.
Logan's gonna get a new one.
I have to get a new Fox 38, hey?
Yeah.
Yep.
On test. We'll get a test one.
I was an idiot. I left all my lubes at work.
You got a shitload of them.
Lubes.
Yeah, I have my cabinet of all my lubes, and I left them all at work. And so
Should be next to your bed, man.
I've had to borrow some from my flatmate, which I felt really awkward about because obviously I am.
Whoa.
I won't say what brand of lube it is that he's been using, but it's not nearly as good as what I've been using in the shop. So
Hey, you've been using that on your chain?
I feel bad for the bike. I put it on my tarmac and I genuinely felt bad.
Olive oil on your chain is not good, folks.
I've just been spitting on it, to be honest. No, I'm pretty keen to.
I gotta fix. I know I gotta fix my tires. I got some cuts in my Gravel King tires, and they're not really holding air that well.
That's the price you pay for speed, mate.
Oh, they are fast, but they are light, and yeah, I've managed to put holes in front and rear of them, so should really get around.
You need some good years.
Should see some sender strips. Is what he needs.
Downhill gravel tires.
I'm pretty keen to go through all my bearings and re-grease them with with Corrosion X. Hey.
Yeah, pretty good product.
I'm kind of tempted to smack out all the bearings in my tarmac wheel set and replace them with what are the Japanese bearings? The
NTN, NSK.
Yeah, some NSKs.
SKF.
Chuck them in the ultrasonic cleaner and clean them out, and then re-grease them with Corrosion X. See what happens.
Yep.
Will change your life.
I'll be so fast. Maybe I'll beat you up a climb, Jason.
Unlikely.
How's the steel frame build going?
I don't know. Tom, I've got like 5 of them. 4 of them.
The road bike.
Well, because of lockdown, that's on pause at the moment as well. But yeah, could be coming along at some point. Got a nice classic steel road bike frame and a Campag grip set. And we'll look at building just when the lockdown finishes, I think.
Are you gonna put flat handlebars in it?
Possibly, Neil. Yeah, possibly. Probably do that.
You sent me a message saying that you were tempted to build it up as fixed.
Yeah, I don't know. Too much time to think. Too much time stuck at home, I think.
I put
Need to get back to work.
I put a fixed gear, one of the old Mash SF edits in the group chat, and Jason I think was the only one that watched it, and then he sent me a message afterwards saying I want to get a fixed gear. I was pretty proud of myself.
And moved to California.
Yep. Dude, that was such a good video.
Yeah.
No worries, guys. So I think that might bring us to the end of the podcast. Thanks for joining us if you did get this far. If you do have anything you want for us to discuss, any ideas for future podcasts, anyone you want us to get on, feel free to send us a message on any of our social platforms. Send us a text. If you know where Logan lives, go knock on his door. Apart from that, guys.
Pretty close to the shop.
Yeah. Hopefully we
Just
will.
a stone's throw.
Yeah. We are in a bit of a state of disarray. We don't really know what's going on, obviously. I think a lot of people are in that situation, but we will let everyone know as soon as we can about when we will be opened, what we will be doing. But until then, guys, continue to stay safe. Get out and ride your bike if you can. Do it in a safe manner. But until then, guys, see you later.
See you guys. Take it easy.
Yeah, catch
So
you later.
Oh, good.